So here goes. This is the long-awaited upgraded winter sleep system that I'm going to be using. Afternoon. G'day internet. My name's Kiwi, and I'm going to show you how I've been keeping warm for the last 3 years whilst I've been living outside. Now it's getting into those colder climes. I've swapped out some gear. This is my sleep kit, and in here I have everything that I need to stay comfortable, dry, and cozy. Sleeping well is key when you live outside. If you're not sleeping well, your body's not healing. I want to go through it. I want to lay it out. First off, I want to get this fire going. So I'm going to crack on with that. I'll get this unpacked and laid out, go through everything with you, and how I condense it all to fit into here. Just exactly what it is I've got in here. Bear with me. Let me crack on with the fire. Stop recording. Stop recording. Hey, so welcome back, guys. Now, this is exactly as I've unrolled it. So that roll that you saw, these are folded over. The idea of the ground sheet is you never know what you're going to come across, yeah? You could be forced to sleep anywhere. I find this is just a bit of protection. This is what contains all this when it's rolled up. And when this is all packing up again, this comes over like that, all the way up. You can see there's just shit underneath. That's not going to get on all your sleep gear, your sleep system and everything. This one here, to stop the inside of this getting dirty, what I do is I fold that in half like that, and then that goes over. That again still protects the inside that's exposed when I'm sleeping. In here we have, first off, I've got my hammock. It's harder to find suitable spots, and if there's nowhere ground level, then I will use my hammock to string up so I'm off the ground. That will works really well with the sleeping bag going here. In here, this is what I use. This is all rolled up. There's some things in here I'll go over in a moment. And that's what I use to start this big roll off that I've got going on here. But in here, this is wrapped up in a towel that I use. In here, I've got my pajamas, I've got my bed socks. This here is a mop handle. You may have seen it's featured in quite a few of my videos, my old trusty mop handle. This is segments into 3, and that is what I use as a pole. I've got 2 hammocks there. I've got a DD 3x3, and I've also got a DD 4x4. This is the pole that I use if I want to have a ground connected tarp with an opening at one side. I'll go more over that in a tarp video. You'll see some other tarp videos online anyway. This bag here, this dry bag, in here I put things like my phone, my wallet, personal valuables there, and this comes in the sleeping bag with me throughout the night when I sleep. So all my valuables, passport, things like that, things that if I'm going to lose everything, there's only a handful of items that I really want to keep hold of. Yeah? That goes in there, comes in there with me. And in that, I've got a hat to wear if it's particularly cold. That's my pump for the air mat, which I'll get to in a moment, and a pillowcase, which again, I'll show you what I use that for in a little while. Also in there, I've just got a little rechargeable wireless. Listen to a bit of whatever at night, yeah? Music, BBC, God forbid, but never mind. And of course, an empty plastic bottle that does not stay empty. In fact, when you're tucked up in your sleeping bag at night through winter, the last thing you want to be doing is getting out of it, putting your shoes on, walking away, doing what you need to do, coming back, getting cozy again. You don't want to be doing that. I just basically kneel up in my sleeping bag. I find the Lipton iced tea one's quite a lot better because you can't basically miss. Yeah, it's a bigger opening. And you just, in your sleeping bag, do what you need to do, cap it back off. A lot of people are going to suggest keep it in the sleeping bag with you and act as a pseudo water bottle, but no, you don't want to be doing that. Here, this is the heart of the sleep system. I've just got a little neck pillow. Under here as well, I do have a thick thermal mat. That is more so for protection from sharps, thorns, glass, needles, depending on where you are. That goes down first as well. That is comes in handy when you're packing up. I'll show you again when I roll all this up in one. You can use that to kneel on as you're going along, and it stops the underside of this from getting too filthy as your body weight overnight weighs that down. This is just it's an R, rated at 4 is the R value of this inflatable mat. And on top of that, I do have just a very thin Alp Kit Z-Lite. It's a thin thermal mat. I find putting these on top of the inflatable mat takes away the tendency of the mat to sag in places like your hips, and it just overall increases the comfort value of your inflatable mat. Putting just a thin, that is literally, that's 2 or 3, not even 3 millimeters thick, that, and it does just enhance the comfort value a lot, I find. This is a bivy bag. It's just an out kit bivy bag, bog standard one, extra large. But in here, I have, this is a fleece that I've recently purchased for my winter kit. It's a fleece sleeping bag liner. That basically adds another season to your sleeping bag, does this. Probably another 5 degrees, easy. It's a really warm sleeping bag liner. That goes in a 2-season, just a cheap bog standard. I think it's a go outdoors bag originally, OEX one. So that goes in the OEX bag, and the OEX bag and the sleeping bag liner go in a snug pack 1 season. Those 3 bags or 3 layers there give me a very nice winter sleeping bag, especially in the bivy bag as well. And you don't sweat, surprisingly. It honestly is just spot on. I've not used this system before in my previous 2 years doing this. This is my 3rd winter now living outside. And I think 3rd time's a charm, yeah? Spot on is that. This here, this is another new one for this year, this season. When I've made my camp and I've got my tarp up, if it's going to be a drizzly night, then this here, if it's a particularly cold night, say if we're getting down to -5s and things like that, then I can use this as another layer in my sleep system. That is a half-season bag, basically. But the beauty of this, what I like about this is called Helicon Tex Swagman Roll. What I can do with this, in fact, let me take this gear off, because I wouldn't have this gear on if I was as I was saying, you've made camp, you've got your brew on the go, you've got your tea on the bake as well. This turns into, you've got a couple of clips here, clip that at the back, this comes back around the other side, and that there, that's going to keep you nice, and see if I can stand up without losing vision. There we go. That is to wear around camp till you decide to get in your bag. This is just, it's a beautiful piece of kit. This is a new purchase that I've just had recently, and it's definitely worth its weight as this one. I say that, it doesn't weigh much at all. It really doesn't. Obviously, you're not going to wear it in your sleeping bag. This is now going to turn into my pillow. It's reversible as well, so you've got a choice of different sides. You've got just the bog standard sort of hex pattern there, and then you've got the desert camo on that side. And there's also pockets as well either side. So it's a really versatile piece of kit, is that. My mic's still working, yes. Come sleep time and you get in your bag, this is where my pillowcase comes in. There you go, that's pretty much a proper pillow, isn't it? That is my sleep system. What I'll do now is, I'm going to basically do everything I've shown you, show you everything, how I put it together to roll it up as an easy all-in-one, carry anywhere, unroll anywhere, sleep comfortably, and just, so I'll do all that now and show you. And if you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. It takes me about 8 minutes to pack all this up, ready to go. That's if I'm really on point and honing my skills. The reason I've got this Swagman's poncho up the top there is if I'm just sitting somewhere chilling for the day and it gets cold, then I don't have to unroll all my bedroll to pull this out, yeah? I just have to undo the couple of clips I've got up there and slide it out, and all this can stay packed up. That's one thing you've got to get used to. Mud and bugs. The dry bagging goes the radio, the air pump, the socks, and the hat. When this is all rolled up and it's ready to go, I just use luggage straps to keep it all in one. Now, on a good day, it will slip easily into this. On a good day. Now, I could, if I wanted, use this compression sack as a compression sack and compress and compress and compress it. But really, for my purposes, I use this just to keep it all tidy and neat, you know, so it can be tucked away on the front of the bike there. There's no straps hanging out. And a bike too, if you ever find yourself in this situation, which I'm sure more and more of people are possibly considering it as a possibility with the way things are going, then I'm a big advocate for getting a decent bicycle. Yeah, got lots of benefits. You can carry more There's a lot of negatives as well with the bike, I should say. It is a double-edged sword, a bicycle, but the positives that stand out for me is you can carry your kit a lot better. You don't have to have it on your back all the time. You know, I've got the majority of my weight on my bags and just positioned around the bike, and it's so much better for not just your back, but your emotional state as well, because you're not getting stressed all the time with the weight you carry. Because carrying weight over a long period of time, repetitively, it does wear you down. Literally does wear you down. That in itself probably only weighs 5 or 6 kilo, I'd say there. And that's, you've seen what goes into that. The only thing that's really missing from that sleep system as it is, as an all-in-one, is my couple of tarps that I have there. I've got I think I've told you already, one's a 3x3, one's a 4x4. One of them is sort of a green, almost that sort of green, that sort of green color. And the other one is a really nice autumn brown color. That's the smaller one, unfortunately. But the green one is really good on a rainy day when you're pulling up for your kip spot. You can string up the center eyelet straight up high, like a parachute cover actually. String that up and then just loosely peg out the 4 corners and you've got a beautiful cover. It works out really well. This here, I fold that over. That sits on top of my pizza tray. That goes on top of like that. And then I've got a couple of straps that come over and hold it in place. That is my winter sleep system, my upgraded winter sleep system. And it does work. It works really well and it works for me. That's what I do. Any questions down in the comments? If you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a share. Sharing is apparently the best thing you can do. If you share it on your WhatsApp or your Facebook, and then somebody clicks that link to come through, the YouTube algorithm notices that and pushes it a bit more. That's the best thing you can do to help me in this. Don't worry about all your donations or anything like that. Get the video shared and get people clicking in. Get that algorithm busy with it. Yeah? Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to stick around and watch all that. Now I'm going to sit down and edit this video and get it uploaded. See you on the next one. Thanks, guys.